Hey, what's happening, gamers? K-Wink here, and today we are talking about Batman the Animated Series coming back in 2022. Say what? If you want to know what's going on, well, wait till right after this. Alright, so I've reported on this in the past, the possibility of Batman the Animated Series coming back, and for the most part, all those rumors were shot down. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because they were never able to get the band back together again. Cartoon Network tried to bring the animated series back about 25 to 22 years ago, and there was, I don't think it was an online streaming service. That's relatively new stuff, the past like 2 or 3 years. But they wanted to do more with, I guess you would say, like home movies, which is kind of what happened with Batman and Harley Quinn thing, which is kind of like the animated series, but not. And if they do bring the animated series back, we do not want a Batman Harley Quinn style-esque series. That's not what fans want. Looking over Twitter, it seems that most of the fans want a true sequel to Batman the Animated Series. That means all the living cast members, all the living team members and story writers, the same art style, not the new adventures, the classic animated series for, 3 seasons when it aired on Fox Kids. The music, the atmosphere, the stories. What made the animated series work is they were incorporating a lot of fantastic Batman stories that focused on characterization and just, an amazing narrative. If they model it after the Batman comics of the past 20 years, that's going to be a yikes from me, because most of the storylines that they used from the Bronze Age, 1970s through early 90s were actually really great Batman things that were adapted well for television and rewritten. They also did great things to Two-Face and Mr. Freeze from a psychological point of view, and they made a lot of these villains feel more alive than ever before. Whereas if you read the comics today, most of the comic book villains still feel like comic book villains. It's like people were spoiled so much by what the animated series was, and they just kind of never really did much with that in comic books. My hope was that a lot of that amazing storytelling and showcase of what the DC characters was, as soon as the animated series ended, that would translate into DC Comics like over the next 10, 15, 20 years. And it happened a little bit, but not really. We did eventually get Red Hood, and you got some cool Justice League and Batman-esque stories, but still not to the same extent that the animated series was. So anyway, without me getting into that too much, this rumor's been around for several years, but the HBOMax one is new. Now, Kevin Smith, Fatman on Batman, and Kevin Smith, the guy who is currently doing the He-Man show, which may or may not suck. We won't know until it airs. He's written some episodes of CW superhero stuff, and, he is pretty good with Batman knowledge, although I might give a run for his money. So anyway, Kevin Smith is adding a lot of more truth to this rumor. I wouldn't say truth. It's still a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. But HBO Max has been doing a lot of stuff that has been proven true. About 6 months ago, I reported that the Batman Brave and the Bold, and a lot of other shows would be leaving different streaming services to end up on HBO Max, and people were shooting me down on Twitter for the past 6 months. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And what was it, today or yesterday, they announced that the Batman's coming in February. Batman Brave and the Bold will be sometime in the spring, and pretty much all of the Batman stuff is coming back to HBO Max and leaving other streaming services. Both Batman Beyond and Batman the Animated Series in high definition are on HBO Max now, so if you've been holding off on that, you might want to jump on that, because it's really cool. It's so cool to see it in HD. It's like, whoa! Because the show did not air that way, so the fact that they redid that for the 25th anniversary was so cool. So yeah, Kevin Smith and his host were talking about the possibility of the show coming back, and they heard rumors about it. And, I mean, it's possible. I'm not going to say no to it. There are a lot of factors that still need to happen, but if HBO Max is pushing this, I think it's a good thing. Now, the reason why they would be doing this is because they don't have their big cash cow anymore. I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but the Snyder Cut is no longer a 4-episode miniseries in the style of Game of Thrones, like an hour episode, like once a week on a Friday or something like that. Nope. Sorry. Zack Snyder got his way, and it's going to be a 4.5-hour movie that'll release in the middle of March. And I don't know. I mean, they don't really have that big draw anymore to HBO Max. So what's the next big thing that Warner Brothers could do? Batman the Animated Series. Like an actual sequel to it. The whole shebang. And I know for a fact there's a lot of living team members, the people responsible behind the scenes for the writing and, the score, the storyboards, all that other stuff. But if you bring the team back, you cannot have Bruce Timm come by himself. Bruce Timm has showed us time and time again, by himself, he puts a lot of weird things in his stuff. The Harley Quinn and Nightwing scene in Batman Harley Quinn, the Batgirl and Batman scene in The Killing Joke. Timm is a very lewd person, and he needs some checks and balances if he comes back to do this. It's possible that Kevin Conroy back in ADR, I think it's way too soon for him to be doing lines for a Batman animated series like revamp or continuation, probably like season 4, season 5, I don't know. But I mean, I would say he's recording for a Lego game, the Kill the Justice League thing for Rocksteady. He could be doing something for maybe a Justice League movie. He could be the Long Halloween animated Batman that's coming out this year. Who knows? Kevin always has a lot of great Batman roles, so I would never be like, okay, this is hardcore proof that the animated series is happening. Warner wants to do it. HBO Max wants to do it. The time is right, and they don't have much longer that they could actually do this because most of the guys who worked on the show when they were in their 20s, they've got to be pushing 60 or 70 now, around then. So they don't have that long to really, bring the band back together again. So they should really, really consider this. So people over on the Batman movie news site and comic book and all these other people are talking about this, that, there is a big possibility, but you have to remember that they're just going off of what Kevin Smith said and they're running with this because Kevin Smith has a lot of sources. He has a lot of pull at Warner Media or DC Television, whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot of possibilities with that. Right now, there's no official news on this, so everybody running around saying, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. It's not official yet. It's just hearsay. It's just a rumor. It's a fun rumor. It's exciting. But if they do this, I want to see some aspects of the Adventure Continues comic books, because those are really, really good. But they have too much of a modern spin to them. If you're going to do a full continuation of Batman the Animated Series, you have to ignore the new adventures. I mean, you could probably still have Tim Drake and Batgirl and Nightwing and stuff in it, but do not use that animation style, because that style doesn't quite feel like the animated series. It feels more aligned with the Superman animated series show, which was fun, but Batman animated series was the pinnacle. So we want to go back to that style. We want that dark deco, not the Red Skies. The Red Skies series was okay. We want something with a little bit more pizzazz, and you want the show to feel like mini movies. If it's going to echo a lot of the crazy stuff going on today where it's all agenda driven, then the show is going to fail, or it's going to end up like the Harley Quinn show. The Harley Quinn show works because that's the type of style that show was created for. Batman the Animated Series has a whole different feel to it, so it would need to basically encompass that. If you're going to do a sequel of that show, it has to be a full-blown sequel. Not a spiritual successor, not a continuation. It needs to be a sequel. It needs to be like a season 6. Would it be a season 6? Yeah, it'd be a season 6. Because I believe they had 5 seasons. Or wait, no, they didn't. They had 4. Because the New Adventures they threw in a 1 DVD volume, so it goes 85 episodes for the Batman animated series on Fox, and then I believe they had 26 or 30 episodes for the New Adventures, and then Batman showed up on the Superman show a couple times, which in the US it was known as World's Finest, or Batman Superman Adventures, something like that. You guys in the UK were lucky. The show was called Batman Gotham Knights, so that was cool. We didn't have that. When that show came back, it was mixed with Superman episodes, so you didn't know what you were going to see. It might be a Batman episode, and it might be a Superman episode. You didn't know. So we don't want that. We want a continuation of the Fox Kids animation, the really good, high quality animation, and I'd be pretty happy with that. I'm gonna say there's some truth to this rumor, but I wouldn't, get your, utility belts in a twist just yet, because it's okay to speculate and to have hope about this. There's a lot of remaining actors still alive, always good. A lot of people that want to do it who are very adamant on Twitter, like Kevin himself, would really love to do the animated series again. And Mark Hamill, I'm sure, would love to do it. And a lot of the remaining villains that are still with us would also love to do it. The Riddler, a.k.a. I believe, I forget his name, but he was Lionel Luthor on Smallville. Loved playing the Riddler. He's a fantastic Riddler, so there's a lot of people that they could make this work. I would want new villains, too, added to the mix. I would want Red Hood added, because they couldn't show Jason Todd. I would want this show to be something that I could pass on to my kids and watch with them someday, because I could not do that with the Harley Quinn show or some of the other animated Bat movies that have come out with Kevin and company. The animated series is timeless because it appeals to all ages, and it doesn't restrict itself to a certain point in time. It's open to interpretation. They had technology, but black and white TV, round architecture, that kind of stuff. It had its own place in the DC universe, or multiverse as it were, and I would like to see that continue. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I'm sure we'll be talking about this again if it's really true. They're shooting for a 2022 reveal, because that would be the 30th anniversary of Batman the Animated Series, which, if you didn't know, 1992 was when the show first came out, so 2022 would be the 30th anniversary, which would make me close to 40. Yikes. So, let me know in the comments section below. Do you guys think the animated series has a possibility of coming back? Do you care? Do you not care? Let me know in the comments section below. And I'll do my best to keep you guys all updated on this. I have some other Bat News videos that are coming out this week, so be on the lookout for stuff about Damian returning to DC Comics this spring. And, of course, some strange things going on with Tim Drake. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next Bat News. Streams will resume as soon as Comcast, basically gets their act together. God bless and happy gaming.